Today we're doing another interview, this time with Cacity, who's one of my favorite artists I've found this year. I really appreciate Cacity for coming on. It was really cool getting to hear their perspective on all the art that I've been listening to for a while now. All right, here it is. First question, how did you initially get into music?
Okay, so it's weird because throughout my life, early on, I had a lot of like chances where I could have gotten into it, but it kind of just missed me. Like whenever I was like 5 years old, my grandma got me a drum set from Germany, and I did not fuck with it at all. I like hit it twice, and I was like, yeah, this shit's boring. I'm never touching it again. Later on, I had this like old Casio piano. I can't remember the exact model, but it's this old, really old one, and it took like 6 AA batteries to power. And I would mess around on the piano every now and then, and I kind of felt something then on because I like piano a lot. And over time, I just kind of grew more and more attached to like just noodling around and messing around with the music. And I remember it was specifically the summer right before I got into high school, because I did band in middle school. I played French horn, and I was like, this is buns. I hate this. I want to hit shit, because I tried out for percussion, but I didn't make it because there was too many kids in it at the time. So I swindled them. I said I wasn't in band when I got into high school, even though I was in 7th grade. Then they just retried me out for drums, and I made it. And yeah, I did drums all throughout high school. I was a snare captain for 1 year. Did some visual stuff. So drumline. You'll hear a lot of like marching band samples and a lot of my like music and stuff. Sometimes a lot of my rap stuff. And it's just because I like band sound. I like the full orchestra sound. So a lot of my stuff's very tied to that traditional orchestra sort of sound. And that's also throughout high school where I did jazz. I did jazz learning as well. Throughout all my 4 years, I played vibraphone and did drum set a little bit.
How did you start producing?
Okay, so I would mess around on GarageBand on my iPhone. Literally. It was just like I had a it was a shitty iPhone 7. I remember I'd get so mad because the home button wouldn't work, so I'd have to like smack it with my like fist to get it to operate, and then I'd get back to like producing on my phone. And I had these the plug-in earbuds back when the iPhones had an aux cord. I would use those, the Apple earbuds. Those were the goats. They were awesome. They had an okay mic quality. I was able to produce whatever I wanted to. I did that for about 3 to 4-ish years, messing around on the phone. And then I had met Jen, which was the first member of Karmamob I had met. And they got me into FL, and they sort of was just teaching me and mentoring me for about a year or two. And then, finally I was able to leave the nest and start learning shit on my own. And they've been just helping me out ever since. And yeah, they were the main introduction for FL Studio for me and producing. So I've been doing production for about, I would say, like 8 years now.
That's sick. Oh my god. I didn't know Jen was a huge like part of it. I thought you were like self-taught.
I was self-taught for a lot of stuff. It's just like I did not know anything about the mixing lingo. I couldn't compress for shit. Like I would arrange stuff on GarageBand on my phone, and I learned how to distort stuff. That was the only like plugin I learned. Yeah, I didn't know how to compress. I didn't know how to mix. I didn't know how to EQ. I saw the funny bands. I just move them till they sound right. But Jen taught me how to mix and master, and like they just pushed me into the right direction for like me wanting to get my main sound. And they were so knowledgeable with the FL at the time, and just now it's just even crazier how far we've come. But I would have never have gotten as quick of a start on it if it wasn't for Jen pushing me in that direction and telling me to get FL.
Cool. Over the years, you've changed your artist name from Breadcrumbs to LAC to now Cacity.
Mm-hmm.
What does each name mean to you? And why did you make the change?
Okay, so long ago, I wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber because I watched Sunday. I watched I watched a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers back then, and that was just the thing to be,
Yeah.
And Minecraft was so cool when it came out, and it was like you can make money and play your favorite video game. I never fucking heard of that. I was like, whoa, I got to get on this. I couldn't edit for shit. I would literally set up my tripod camera recording the TV, and you could see like it reflecting off the window in the living room. I didn't have a capture card or a computer at the time, but I always had chunk errors in the game, so I always took that from it, and my mom makes a lot of cakes. She is a cake baker, and I associate that with baking, and bread has always been something I really liked. And so I named myself Chunks of Bread for a little bit, but that kind of lasted for about 2-ish years, and then I was like, it's kind of boring. And then Discord, I heard about Discord, and then when I made my first Discord account, I called myself Breadcrumbs because bread was just one syllable, short, sweet. It's easy to remember. You know, I'm just your plain breadcrumbs. You know me. And it was just easy, and I liked the name. There's a little bit of a charm to it, and it stuck with me, and everyone just would call me Bread. The bread part just came naturally. I never told people to call me Bread. They just call me Bread because my full name was Breadcrumbs, and it was shorter. And it's funny because now that I'm living out here with some of the Karmamob members, I do not get called my actual name anymore. I've been only called Bread. So
Even now?
that's yeah, even now to this day. But after that, I switched to LAC. So this is whenever I started uploading stuff on SoundCloud, and when I started getting heavy into producing on my iPhone and around middle school at the time. And I had a couple of friends that we had a small little collective. Never really got anywhere too crazy. One of my homies is still making some really cool stuff. Their name is Cryptic, and they're still working on their stuff right now. And we all just kind of disbanded. You know, just life kind of leads you in different directions. And I didn't know what name I wanted because I was like, Breadcrumbs is not a hard rapper name. Because I just wanted to be a rapper back then. I didn't want to be an artist. I didn't want to make just like anything like I do now. I just wanted to specifically make rap because that was what was cool. So like the YouTube type beats and shit. And there was a website that is still up. I don't know if it's as popular anymore, but it's called the Wu-Tang Clan Name Generator, and it's funny enough the same way that Childish Gambino and Post Malone got their name. You put your actual legal name in there, then it like does some code or algorithm, and it spits out a random name back at you. And it gave me Lazy Ass Criminal, and I was like, that's just so boring. But I did it again, and it gave me a second time, and I was like, that's a sign. So I just took the letters from Lazy Ass and Criminal and just put LAC. And it had no meaning for the longest time. And people would always ask, and I'd be like, there's just no meaning to it. And the skeleton part, I just added on because, I mean, I'm skinny. I got a skinny frame. So, you know, I called myself the skeleton. It was like a disgustingly menacing sort of like aura name, I guess. And it just kind of fit on. But the reason I changed that name was because it was just too long. You know, I was like, thinking to myself, and I was actually talking to Brokey about this, and I was just like about to work on a project, and ended up not working on it because I mean my full name was gonna be LAC the Skeleton. This project, I was like the title's too long, and I've been wanting to change it for a minute, and I was like, if there's a time to change, it's now. And that was last year in not October, August, around August, and I changed it to Cassidy because I always liked the name Cassidy. And it had my country twang for my roots. It's a very country name, and it's not really a gender specific one. So you know, I didn't really care what title it was given. And you know, it's just an uncommon name, and I've always liked that name. So I went with Cassidy, and no one had the spelling that we chose. And Jen helped me out with the spelling for the Cacity because it's a little weird, but I mean it works. And I mean it just sticks. It's been sticking since then, and it's cool because people call me Cass for short. And I don't know. I just liked all the nicknames that come with the name changes that I've had, but Cassidy's been the one that stuck, and that's the one that's staying for now.
My next question is you rep M3 a lot across your catalog. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. So M3, it's this weird meaning I've given it where it's very like self-aware. I'm very self-aware. I've always been very in touch with myself, my surroundings, other people's surroundings, the emotions I feel, and I've always been very literal with my character, especially with like the ski mask I've had and stuff. And I write it on the forehead so it's just front and center in your face. And it basically just means me, very like this is who I am with my mask on. And it has my lucky number 3. And 3's just been everywhere in my life. Everywhere. I sat in the 3rd desk in class. I was number 3 picked for this. I had the 3rd order at a restaurant. Like everywhere, and it scares me sometimes, but I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just keep that going. And I've always liked the way 3s or E's look whenever you change them into a 3, and I've always just fucked with that sort of look. of like the letter to number change, and I've just kept that ever since.
You also have the orange ski mask and the red flannel. That's a big part of your image. How'd
Yeah.
you come up with that, and what does that mean to you?
So I always have messed with like the flannel pattern. It's I like cold weather. I like very cold weather. So I think like lumberjack snow. Like I want to live in the mountains, like in Colorado. Whenever I'm like make it big and I'm older, type shit. If you told me to choose either the beach or the mountains, I'm choosing the mountains and the forest. I love it. And I've always just loved like plaid is such a very specific color pattern, and any color it comes in yellow. I literally have like 4 different like plaid like sweaters in my closet right now. And the red one, I don't know why, but the red and the orange just clashed in a beautiful way for me, and I liked the way it looked. So I kept that going. And the ski mask was, funny enough, a hunting mask, because I'd go hunting with my dad and I'd found it. And I just didn't want to be another person with a ski mask, because like I realized wearing the mask, I didn't really care in a sense of how I represent myself. In a sense of just like it took all the nerves away, because it's like this is who I actually am. I'm putting on the mask. I'm playing the character of who I actually am in my music. It's like my more expressive form. And to change it up, since I didn't want to be just another dude in the ski mask, I had cut the top off, a circle out so my hair would pop out, and it looked like I have orange skin on my face. And no, yeah, I've always just loved that look, and I've had to change up my mask a couple of times every now and then. But the orange ski mask, that came from a hunting mask, and that was about 7 years ago. I had that hunting mask, so it's an old one. But then I was like, I found it in my closet whenever I started doing the music stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this. And funny enough, I perform with that mask now.
What's like what's the process of making a song for you?
Oh, there's so many directions I could start it in. It honestly is it's very interchangeable. The way I like take in inspo, it's like a stress ball in a randomizer. Like I don't know. It's like I constantly am like taking in like new info, new music. I always say I'm studying when I'm listening to new albums and stuff all the time. Even if it's something I know I'm probably not gonna like, I'll still listen to it because there might be a piano chord. I'm like, ooh, that's an idea. Or there might be a vocal line where I'm like, wait, they were saying something, they were spitting. Lately, my creative process has just been I either will write a poem and then translate the poem into lyrics and start with that, or I'll sit down and just mess around on my guitar, or I'll just I've been using a shaker lately because I've been listening to a lot of Mac DeMarco, and he uses a lot of shakers in his stuff, and I've been using tricks to just kind of like switch up everything. So sometimes I might just start with drums. Sometimes I'll start with a bass line. Sometimes I'll go straight to guitar. Hell, I'll do a cappella sometimes for the vocals and then make the full song after. A couple of my favorite songs I've done that with, where I just record the vocals first. That's what happened with Just Cuz. It was just vocals at first, and then I did the guitars over that. The drums came last in Just Cuz, funny enough.
Really?
That was the last component I added. Yeah, I did the guitar, the bass, and then the drums last.
What was the other song?
I think it was okay. It was not Red, because Red, I remember I did the guitars first. The ones where I do a lot of the guitars first, you can hear I just leave those empty 4 bars of just guitar in the intro, and then everything comes in. I like that old school style of way of when music just all comes in at once after the guitars are soloed. Another song like that, probably one of my indie songs off of Bad Choices, Good Stories. Definitely. Oh, into the intro and the outro of my album, Bad Choice Good Stories. I did that in acapella first, and then I did the guitar around it to kind of
That
make
actually
that
makes a lot of
ambient
sense.
vibe. Yeah.
Over the past year, you've made a lot of music like separate from rap. I was gonna ask, are you gonna shift to that style more?
I'm done chaining myself down. So I've had this dilemma for the past 2 to 3 years doing music, where I feel like I constantly need to have like nothing's gonna work if I'm not consistent. And then I've been just like kind of just like blinded kind of by that idea. I did the rap shit at first with my M3 season 2, and then I moved on to the indie because I was like, I'm gonna explore my softer side. Then I did the rap shit again with the EP I had made. Oh yeah, and then for the grunge album Toleration, I just figured out how much I loved grunge and rock and roll and old school rock and roll. I just realized after listening to Chromacopia, that was the recent drop from Tyler, because Tyler was the main person that first got me into like wanting to do rap, that made rap fun, because I had heard him in I think around, I would say that same summer that I got in the band, like freshman year, because I was making like little shitty rap beats in middle school, but I didn't realize that you didn't have to be confined to rules in terms of production. You can kind of do whatever you want. And with the recent Chromacopia drop from Tyler, that just kind of made me realize I don't need to have a genre tied to projects. So the some stuff I'm working on coming up, I'm just throwing that out the window. I don't even know if there is a tag for albums that's genreless where you can have like literally like a rap song and then a rock song and then metal right after and then have a song like Claro and then have a song like Mac or Kuko, like just complete cluster of mix of genres because I just love music in general. I couldn't like one genre or be confined to one genre. So I'm never gonna you're probably never gonna hear another album from me that's all one consistent genre. I like to switch it up and have fun with my stuff.
Nice. That's a good answer. How do you? I guess this kind of ties into it, but how do you feel like your sound has evolved as you've gone on?
It's just there's been a lot of times where I've doubted myself a lot and I've just been like I'm way too inconsistent. I'm way too inconsistent and it doesn't feel like nothing really sticks. Well, the great part about having Karmamob and having my friend group is literally just having that whole circle of people, especially with all the different genres they make themselves, all hearing my stuff and kind of just like pushing me into the right directions for just not being afraid to try different stuff. And I was getting like when I was starting with the grunge stuff, I remember I had shown Semtex. Semtex was the first person I'd show. Semtex actually is the whole reason I made the grunge album, because I had made a grunge song that never came out, and I showed Semtex, and they were like, "You need to do this more. This sounds like your voice was meant for it." And I was like, "Okay, cool, I'll do that." And then I made a whole project because I realized how much fun it was playing guitar. And I feel like I'm getting a consistency with my sound now because of not being tied to a genre. I felt like when it was like I was doing rap, it was like, okay, I need to find my sound with rap. Do I like to hop on Tyler beats? Do I like to hop on Earl Sweatshirt beats? And then it was indie. It was like, do I like to make music that sounds like Claro or Yacht Club? You know? And then with grunge, it was like, do I want to be Nirvana or do I want to be fucking Alice in Chains? It switched up so much. So now I'm just like, I'm taking a step back because it's like, I just want to figure out how to be me as much in my music as possible without thinking whenever I start a project, I want to make a Deftones type song. I'm like, fuck that, throw it out the window. No, I want to make a Cacity type song, And I feel like that's the thing a lot of people get caught in is they love their artist so much that inspired them that they want to make music just like them instead of making music like them themselves, It's like you shouldn't want to strive to be someone else so bad that it kind of interferes with how true you are to your music, because then you're telling someone else's story. You're not telling your own story. It's all about the different lens. You just gotta tell it through your lens and your view.
Speaking of like your view, how do you come up with your ideas for albums or EPs?
It takes a long time. It takes a long time because, I mean, I feel like a lot of other artists agree they don't want to release something that flops. They don't want to. They don't want to push out something that they're not 100% on, like fully. And for me, I've always just really liked. I'll usually start with the album cover, first, because I view it kind of like a book. Like each of these songs could be chapters of my life, and each book is like a whole point of my story, a whole arc I'm in. And with the grunge stuff, I was working at Toleration. That was my first job I had worked at ever. I was working part-time as a bartender at a Mexican restaurant. And I was going home every night and just making music till like 2 a.m. And a lot of my albums reflect how I'm thinking mentally in that moment and how I am in the thinking space at the time. and I just try to really get a general theme of what message do I want to push in my next artwork. It's funny. I like making singles, but I love albums so much more. I like giving you a full story. I don't like giving you fast food. Like, here, quick, quick. Like, no, you gotta have the full meal. You gotta have the fucking potato salad. You gotta have the turkey. You gotta have everything. You know, it's just all gotta the full meal's gotta all come together, and that's what I love about albums so much. So yeah, that's usually how I start making my albums.
Yeah, I like the creativity that you can get with an album. I think cover arts are so cool. Like,
Oh no, yeah, it's fucking insane. Like there have been cover arts that have inspired me so much. Like I don't know, like I got a Tool flag in the background. I love Tool. I love Tool to death. And I remember when I saw Undertow for the first time, I was like, there is something ominous about this, and I love it. And same with Anima. Same with Anima. Just like the weird white light. I love anything that's like not traditional, out of the norm. You know, I feel like we live in a time period where it's okay to be weird, but just as ever, people are afraid to get out of their comfort zone, and they're sticking to the norms of I'm just gonna make the same stuff that you hear on the radio, And it's like, I wanna figure out a way to stick out, and I feel a lot of people should learn to be okay with feeling uncomfortable if they upload something and it doesn't do 100%, and a lot of people will think in mind, and I'm not saying this like I haven't done it myself, because I used to do this all the time. There was a time and period where I'd make a song thinking, damn, are the fans gonna love it? That does not matter, in a sense. It does to a degree. In the cleanliness, you don't want to obviously release like something that sounds like complete garbage and is unmixed, but you gotta make the music for yourself first. And that took me a long time to learn how to make the music for myself first, because I was just so worried about, oh well, what if my friends don't like this? And it was like, it doesn't matter if it's not me, it's not me. It's like I'm not getting my message or my art across at all.
I really like that you went back and remade your first album. What made you want to go back and do that?
So my first album was made completely on GarageBand on the iPhone, and that was wait a minute, which are you talking about? M3 Season 2, or are you talking about the reboot?
The reboot.
Okay, so the reboot was from an album that's on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched that one.
And oh my god, okay, so you've done the deep dive. So that was completely done on Apple earbuds. Like I remember I was in my closet like talking to a little like microphone that was on the side, and I would like record and shit, and then I like punch it in on my phone and stuff. Oh my god, I don't know how long I did that for. It's so annoying to do on the phone. I try using GarageBand now. My patience, my ADHD just like can't handle it. I'm like, this is terrible. I hate this. So I like couldn't now. But no, yeah, I remade it because I think I still had good ideas back then. I just didn't have the skill set to represent them in the way I wanted to. And now that I've gotten so much better with like the skill side and the technical side of music, I just wanted to retell that story and kind of push it. And also the songs I had fun with, I just wanted to polish them up and give them a new coat of paint, because I was like, I was low key onto something back then. Let me redo this. Let me bring some life back into it. So that was my mindset for reboot. And those four songs were my favorite songs from the project, and then one of those was a new one that I threw on there, and that was the last song off that.
Oh. What inspired your album Bad Choices, Good Stories?
I think it was really, I was listening to a lot of indie music in high school. I don't know, I had gotten out of rap for a little bit, because for me it was weird. I never seeked out music like that till literally like high school. Like if you were like name 5 rappers, I could say Tyler, Earl, Freddie Gibbs. I can name like a couple, but I couldn't even name like, if you told me to name like 10 Juice WRLD songs, I'd be like, oh my god. Or like it would be so bad. I'd be like, yo, a new X song just dropped. I'm like, huh? I don't know. I didn't know. I was just not in the loop. And now that I do a lot more seeking out for music and like studying, I just taken a lot more stuff now. But with back then, I was listening to so much indie, because there's just something about indie music. It tugs on the heartstrings for me, and the whole point of Bad Choices and Good Stories was I wanted to make an album that gave the vibe of nostalgia, like a memory you couldn't go back to no matter how badly you wanted to. Like, it's a bitter memory. That's why a lot of my vocals on that have like that telephone echoey vocal, because Yacht Club gives me like nostalgic vibes every time I listen to their albums, you know? And I just love that old school vibe where it's like a bitter memory you kind of want to hold on to, but you got to learn to let it go. And that's what Bad Choices and Good Stories was about, pretty much. And inspired it too.
I definitely get that vibe. On the cover of Toleration, you have "I'm so self-aware, I know the weight of my convos" written on the Polaroid. What does that mean in the context of the album?
So, number one, my handwriting is dog shit. Let me get that right. Because I say it's written, is actually an excerpt out of my mental health book, and it says, I'm so self-aware, I know the weight of my own canvas.
Oh.
And the whole point of that is you get so caught in being self-aware, and I was just so in my head and manic at a time when making that, and I was just so afraid of everything at a certain point. There was a lot darker time in my life that I've thankfully pulled myself out of. That was just kind of restating the M3 idea. It's so in your face, and it's so like a raw emotion type deal. And I wanted to include it with that cover art because I just felt that spoke the most with the image. And in that image, I am eating there is orange juice and a mixture of a drug in there I will not name, but it changed the way I thought for a long time. And after that night, that was a photo taken as I was taking said drug, and it was a crazy night to remember, and it made me really think of music differently. And that was the big turning point, because after that I had gotten into a little bit of a deep depression after that photo was taken. And during that depression, thankfully, I started listening to Nirvana. And I had, like, my little brother had a Nirvana t-shirt in his closet and stuff. And I knew of Nirvana, obviously, but I had never listened to their albums in depth. And I just wasn't familiar with Kurt Cobain like I am now. And I had listened to their first album, Bleach by Nirvana. And it's not a popular one. It's very gritty, but I loved it. I loved it because it kind of felt like in the same situation I was when Kurt made that. He was just trying to figure out any way possible to represent his sound. He was pulling anybody together. He got Chris Novoselic for the bass, and they went through like 5 drummers before like Dave Grohl. You know, it's like I just need to assemble the team. I have to make my art, my vision possible. And that's what that cover art means.
You know what's funny? I played Toleration for my dad like a while ago, and he sent me Nirvana, and he was like, "This sounds like this. You should listen to Nirvana."
It's so dope. That's so fucking dope. Hell yeah. I love that. That was what I loved about the album too. That was the first time when I didn't do rap music and I was like, I fuck your bitch. I get money. Yeah, I smoke weed. It was like the first time in my life where I wasn't vulgar for no reason. And it was cool because I could show my parents it. And my friends could show their parents it. And I would mix it into playlists at my old job. I'd play it at work and no one would notice because we'd play 90s rock grunge. It'd be like straight up, like we'd have like Korn, we'd have Deftones playing, we'd have Nirvana, we'd have Silverchair, and then I'd play my music and no one would notice a difference. And I was like, that's cool. It's working. It's working. And that's what I love about it, is that it's just music that anyone can listen to. I like making music not for everyone to listen to, but music that anybody can like.
Did anyone like come up and like say that what's the song?
Yes, a couple of my friends, like, funny enough, because my singing voice is very different from my talking voice. You know, I'm a very for the type of screamer I am, I do have a very calm talking voice. So whenever I play my music, people are always like, "What? You don't sound like this normally." It's like, yeah, I'm screaming my fucking head off, I know. And there's a few times where like I'd get loud at work or like say a joke when we're closing, and my friends would be like, hear the songs again and be like, something fishy's kind of up. You kind of sound similar. And I'm like, you got me. Yeah, it's me. And funny enough, they would ask me to send it to them because a lot of my country friends knew I made a rap, and I didn't think they were gonna fuck with them because they're just country kids from Texas. But a lot of them were like really fucking with it, and were like, dude, it's like what my parents listen to. Send me this. I always loved it. That gave me a huge boost in confidence in myself for just being like, okay, I can make music that adults can appreciate. Because I view in the mindset of like, I'm younger, obviously. I'm in a younger generation, so parents are instantly just gonna be like, this shit is not for my time period. Rap music nowadays is garbage, yada yada yada. And it's like, I just like being able to change that. I like to give that nostalgic feeling even for parents. I want parents to be like, damn, this kind of sounds like the 90s. This sounds like the shit I was hearing in the 80s. And that's cool when people can say that.
Is there a meaning behind your song Water Woman?
Oh, yes. So Water Woman, and the artist who did that cover art, they put such a fucking story to that art. Oh my god. So Callus is one of our members, such a goated, talented artist, way too fucking talented for how old they are, by the way. But they are a crazy artist, and I had showed them the stuff because their dad likes the same type of stuff that I be making, and like that sort of grunge range. And I was like, hey, would you like to do the cover art for this? Because I wanted every artist in Karmamob to do a cover art. So I had Numa draw American Spirits, and then I had Callus do Water Woman. And the story behind Water Woman is, in the lyrics, I'm talking about how it's very back and forth with myself. That's the whole album, is I'm very self-reflecting my music. If you don't know who I'm talking about when I'm referring to you or them, I'm probably referring to myself in some way, because I have just such a problem with understanding myself as a character and understanding my placement on this planet, All I know is I like to make music and hit shit and make sound. And with Water Woman, the whole meaning behind Water Woman is, when you look into a pool of water, you see your reflection. And in water, it's a rippled, distorted reflection of yourself. So it's not you 100%. So the idea is the Water Woman is a version of me that's a distorted viewing of myself. And it's Water Woman because also I got long hair. So.
Wow, that's actually sick. What does the cover art being lava mean?
For the cover art, it was a very... Honestly, I like doing this thing. It's terrible. It's so bad. Cause a couple of the artists that I work with, they either like it or they're kind of just like, please help me with something. Cause I'll just be like, here's the song. You have creative freedom. Do whatever you want. And they're like, that's cool. I need something to go off of though. And I'm like, shit. But with Callus, I was like, I kind of just told them the story of the art, and they created the lava idea and everything, and I ended up loving it with the whole space theme and everything, because it just brings out another key component, is the orange color, the orange trademark ski mask, and it's got that hot orange, blood orange kind of color to it, and that's what I liked about the lava design. But that was complete Callus. Like they had that idea and they just brought that to life.
You have a new project called Purple coming out soon. Is there anything you can reveal about it?
So that is a single for the new project.
Oh, it's a single.
We're going to be dropping the date is the first single.
Okay.
Dropping. So the song Purple will be dropping on January 3rd. And the one thing I can say is I can say two things. Number one, the genre for Purple is R&B. And it is featuring somebody. I will not say who. But the other thing I can say is that along with Purple, another song will be coming soon that I will make a post for, called Crocodile. So just be out for Crocodile. Be aware and be ready for Crocodile, because that one is not R&B at all.
Okay, well, I can't wait for that to come out. I feel like a lot of rappers don't know how to play instruments. How has knowing like how to drum and how to play guitar like influenced your sound?
It makes producing and working with producers so much easier. I never have to use an auto key plugin. Funny enough, one of my favorite instruments, melodica, is, I love this because the band Gorillaz got me into melodica, because 2D from Gorillaz plays this a lot, and there's a lot of melodica samples in their music, and it's just a quick way for me to find the key of stuff. And for drums, it's helped me with rapping. like get the rhythm down, because I'll like do a lot of hand tapping, my ADHD. I'll do a lot of beatboxing and stuff, and just it helps me think of like the percussive and the punctual ideas to like really pop out sounds and get good rhythms. With guitar and piano and also drums, a little bit of drums too, it's just helped me with the coordination of being able to like play and sing at the same time, which is something I'm still working on. But I would say it definitely helps me with the production so much, like because I know my 12 keys, I know my music theory, I know my dotted notes, I know my 16th, I know my 32 notes, and I know all my music jargon, and school helps me with that. Jazz helped me with that enough as I paid attention, because at jazz, all I did was I'd see the key and I'd be like, cool, okay, I know the key, because I played vibraphone, which is like a giant metal xylophone, and I would hold like 4 mallets in each hand, and funny enough, these were the mallets I used whenever I played, and I would have to hold them like this and play piano chords and like switch, and then I would like do like melodies like this and then go back to chords, and when doing that, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing half the time. And I would get a key. I would see the key and be like, all right, we're in B flat. And I knew what the keys were, and I would just play it until I heard a wrong note, go to the next note, and keep playing, because it doesn't sound bad if you make it sound intentional. And with jazz, it kind of breaks all those rules. And I would just play random shit. I would not play the solos. I would know the key. It would sound good, but my teachers thought I was just improvising the craziest shit, and I was. It did help me with my improvisation skills, and I can just pick up a guitar and start playing along with anyone some melody ideas or drum or piano. But I would say out of all my instruments though, drums and piano have influenced my production the most. The learning of that definitely has been like the biggest game changer in terms of my I wouldn't be as fast as producing if I didn't learn piano or drums.
That makes sense. How did you meet the people in Karmamob?
Okay. Whew, we got a lot. But first, it was Jen. And that was about almost 5 years ago. It's 4 years now. 4 years was August of this year, but about almost 5 years ago, around August, I was getting in and out of friend groups, and this was after I got on Discord. I was getting kicked out of friend groups, getting pushed in, and it's just like I never found the place where I stuck. And, people just didn't really like me around that much, and I was aware. I took a lot of it to heart, but I just didn't find my group of people, and it was very hard at a time, because originally I wanted to be a VTuber. I wanted to be a Twitch streamer. I had all my money saved for it. Instead, I spent it on plugins and instruments and shit. And I actually, no, instead of buying a model and all the stuff, I bought a microphone, my first microphone that I recorded on. And that is, and I bought my Focusrite, the thing I still use my audio interface with. And damn, it was a commission sheet from Numa. And it was for headshots. It was just drawings. And I got a sponsor for Jen's production page. And I DM'd them and I was like, hey, I like your stuff. We should work on some stuff sometime. Out of nowhere, I was that confident. I was so close to not DMing them at all, because I was like, oh man, I'm not good enough. They're not gonna mess with it. So I sent my album, shameless plug. I was like, please listen to my music. And they DM'd me, funny enough, a week later, being like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I fuck with it. And they're like, do you got Discord? And I was like, oh my, okay, yeah. And I sent my Discord, and we did not talk for a week, funny enough. And funny enough, that's the same way I found Numa as well, because it was also through Instagram, but it was through the cover art for Sluts with Nuts by Lil Darky.
Oh, yeah.
I had seen that and I was like, whoa, this art's fucking cool. This artist is insane. And I saw that Numa did a bunch of other art, and I was like, their art style is like just fucking eye candy. I love it. It's cartoonish. It's anime, but not exactly. It has it's I can't even like, it's its own thing. You can't really tie it to cartoon or anime or realism. It's its own sort of thing, and I love that about it. It's so unique. And Jen didn't DM me for like 2 weeks, and then they DM me being like, yo, you want to hop in a call? And I hopped in a call with them, and then I met Numa shortly after. And over time, that was when I met Simtex as well, Dotflow, Soulbomb, oh my god, we gotta think. Drew as well, EXO Drew, and then a little down the road, Brokey joined the group, and that was around a year after knowing or almost, oh no, like half a year. It was like December-ish of that year, and then Brokey joined the group, and I didn't like them at first. I felt so bad. It's funny because it's complete 1A. Like she's my ride or die. I love her to death. She's my fucking go-to homie for any problem or anything. I love them to death. But back then I did not like them at first. I was so butthurt. Because there was a collective we were in prior to Karmamob, thou that shall not be named, but I wanted to get in there so bad. I was like, these people are my friends. I want to make music. I just, like I said, I was mentoring still with Jen. I didn't have it. Jen wanted me to get off of GarageBand, but they didn't want to tell me to stop producing off GarageBand because I didn't have FL. So I kind of was just kind of in this dark space where I was just like, I don't know what to do to earn this. And I ended up getting in a year later, and I was like, hell yeah, it was fire. And I got in at the same time that Callus had gotten in. And when I also backing track a little bit, because I just remember whenever I was meeting Simtex and Soulbomb and Dotflow, that was also when I also met Calder. And they were a part of a group called Messenger, and I met Calder and their homie Rex. Over time, I'm trying to think who else, because I don't want to forget anybody. I'll feel so terrible. There was like a year or two later, after the new group had been made, I went to visit Brokey in person, and I stayed with them in California for about 4 or 3 days. And when I stayed with them, Docky was a member in our public server. And our main server where we have like everyone like kind of like just hop in this VC, the chat, and we talked to Docky a lot. And I didn't realize Brokey was working with Docky that much at the time, and Docky was just always been cool from the start. Always been super nice dude. And the exact same in person too. Nicest motherfucker on earth. And I was like, we should have him come over. And Brokey was like, sure. So we invited Docky over, and we made music. And literally that night when we were making stuff, I remember I was smoking that night, and I was high as shit. And I was looking at Brokey, and and we were like, it was me sitting here, and Brokey was sitting across from me. And there was like this, in Brokey's stew, there was like this curtain, and then the recording booth, so you couldn't see the person, but you could hear them. And I mouthed to Brokey, I was like, we need them in our group now. And Brokey was like, yes. And I was like, we need to convince hard. We did, we talked to Jen and Numa about it, and we introduced Docky to everyone, and everyone just, it just ended up working out for everyone. Oh, I'm a fraud. I am. Couch. Oh my god. So Couch came along with Brokey. And funny enough, I could have met Couch at a later time, or at an earlier time in my life, because our paths almost crossed whenever I was doing the VTubing stuff, because they knew one of my friends in the Twitch group. And then whenever that group kicked me out, I was still on kind of good terms. Like, it was never bad with this person, but I knew this person. It was me, knows this person, they know Couch. And we just never crossed paths until this group. And it was meant to be. It was meant to be. I love Couch to death. Couch is like one of the most talented editors and animators. I guess, yeah, animating, because they do animate their edits and their shit, and they make all their stuff from scratch that they do. It's so fucking, I see how much work they put in. It's like, it would drain me. They're so talented. They have more patience than I. But
I'm inspired by Couch. Couch is so like crazy editor.
No, they're so sick.
Yeah.
I need to think. Oh, I'm a fraud. I'm an even bigger fraud. I'm so sorry. I forgot Ruslan. See, I knew something wasn't rubbing me the right way. So Ruslan came in. The only reason I struggle with that one is because Ruslan came in. Oh man, it was such a foggy period. It was a little after we had gotten the new group established, and I didn't talk to Ruslan a lot until I started visiting up here. And Ruslan's the homie. I love them to death. But yes, I had to get that in. I felt so bad because I didn't speak to Ruslan a lot, and then when I moved up here, now that I live here, around more of the Karmamob members, I see them in person a lot, and they're just the go. I love them to death, and they're strong as fuck. They're scary. They could kill me. They could rip me in half.
How was performing live this year? Have you done it before?
So we had, okay, I'll count it as 1.5. Because there was a performance that I wasn't a part of that was at the beginning of this year that me, Ruslan, Brokey, Jen, and I'm trying to remember Jen. Oh my god, it's in my iPhone background. I can't remember it right now. Jen, I think it was also Semtex that was with us. But I could be very wrong because we did the same sort of performance a couple of times, and when I was up on stage, I was just doing A's and yas. I wasn't actually like rapping any songs because it wasn't my set yet. But the crowd, everyone staring at me, it gave me like this mixture of I was nauseous afterwards. I was like, this is fucking awesome. I need this for myself. I need to do this. And that just made me more excited to perform. And then fast forward all the way later this year, I actually had my first performance on November 2nd. And it went really well. I really liked it. Funny enough, with the rap stuff I was performing, I wasn't really like crazy about it. It was cool. I liked it, but it just didn't feel really too true to myself. And it was like Iron Lung. I performed Iron Lung. I performed Rose, which is unreleased, when I performed Got a Lot of It. And these were just basic trap metal scream rap songs I've done. And they're not bad. They're not bad. I like them, and I put the time and care. It's just when I was performing on stage, I was like, something feels off about this. But then towards the end of my set, when I did my grunge stuff, I threw in grunge song in there, and then I threw in a metal song that I had never shown, and I performed those. And that was the moment I felt like singing on stage and screaming instead of opposed to rapping. I was like, this is it. This is my avenue. I felt it, and the way people were looking at me, just being like, you weren't just like spitting bullshit a second ago. We're listening to you now, like the locked eyes. I was like, it felt like I could communicate my emotions a lot more vividly to the crowd. Or not vividly, a lot more clearly to the crowd, you know? And I loved that. I loved that so much. Performing first, I thought I was gonna get nervous, but then I just got high and put on my mask, and that fixed it. But that wasn't a pastime. We do not smoke anymore.
That's good. That's good. Do you plan on doing any more like next year?
Um, shit, yeah, I would love to. I'd love to do some more. It really also just depends on getting the right venue space, getting the right people that want me to come out and perform. I would love to. But the next show I definitely do, majority is gonna be my grunge. I'm gonna be screaming, singing on stage. And I thought it was gonna be weird because I don't have a band. But I've been thinking we got something under the works. I've been trying to pull a band together because a live band would be pretty cool, but with just my production so far, with the drums, the electronic drums, my normal guitars I play, it went really well mix wise. I didn't think it was gonna sound too good, but as soon as I heard the bass guitar rumble my body, I was like, oh yeah, it's about to go fucking down. I'm about to throw this shit down.
How has Karmamob like influenced you as an artist, like sound wise, or just like actually just in general?
Damn, so much, so much. Like literally, okay, I'll try and get one of each member real quick. So, starting off with Jen, production, obviously, production. I wouldn't have been good at producing. They also were the first to tell me how to scream without hurting myself and how to scream without using my chest and screaming my throat, like fucking up my throat, wondering, damn, why does it taste like blood whenever I spit? Why is my saliva? It's like, because I'm fucking myself up. Jen helped out with that. Numa, crazy artist, always has really good opinions, and they just have very good opinion on like club shit and like party music, and they've always fucked with my electronic stuff and my electronic sound, and they have a very good input with that, and just they've helped me with drawing and art, and just not being afraid to try shit that I'm like with drawing and stuff. Example, like I didn't think I was gonna be good at because like I didn't start at fucking 5 years old. I didn't start at 7, but they motivate me to want to draw a lot. And Soul Bomb, oh my god, I wouldn't have listened to Tool or a lot of the metal music I listened to if it weren't for Soul Bomb putting me onto it. And Soul Bomb's just so there's such a genuine love we have for like metal music and Tool. And we'll like talk about it for like hours and shit. And I genuinely thank them for helping opening up my eyes to one of my favorite artists. And I would have never probably have done some of the better grunge and metal shit I would have done if it wasn't for Soul Bomb. Dot Flow's electronic sound is insane. Their production is very weird and peculiar, and you know, I just still find myself listening. And I'm like, why is this shit not popping off? Like, this shit's amazing, you know? Like Fish Breath. I listen to that song so fucking much. I love that by Dot. Calder. Oh, you watch the videos, they read the fucking manual, bro. They can cite the manual of the synthesizer that you just bought. Like, they know the nitty-gritty. And, you know, they just have taught me so much about cleanliness in my mixing and mastering and getting a lot of clarity into my sound. And Drew's influenced my sound of not feeling like making mainstream music the same. Cause Drew has a kind of mainstream sound that just works really fucking well. Like I remember I would show a lot of my friends Drew's music, and I'd show them my music, and I'm like, hey, I make trap metal. It's very, very weird. You may not fuck with it, but you'll fuck with this. And the songs I made with Drew and Jen off of like the album Black Sky Interstate, the ones I feature on like number 7 and You Could, like those sounds, like that just taught me to be okay doing something that can sound mainstream, but just it's not corny, because I think some mainstream stuff is very overdone, but Drew has always just found a new way to innovate that sound and just innovate OG rap and R&B and like hip hop like that, and I just have loved that. Couch, crazy fucking editor. They'll help me with editing and stuff, and we'll talk music video ideas and movie ideas and filming and stuff, and they are like autistic as me of like, ooh, this idea, ooh, this editing idea, this trick is so cool, we need to do this. And I'm like, yes, we need to do it. And Semtex, like I said, I would have never done I probably would have never, Toleration would have never came out if it wasn't for Semtex. I would have never played guitar as much as I did. I would have never kept playing it if it wasn't for Semtex telling me to just do it. And Semtex's screaming sound, because they've done grunge stuff before, and it's just the most, they're so emotional with their screaming, and I just love that about them. Callous, Jesus, their art is insane, and they're one of our younger artists, but they're fucking insane for how good they are at drawing. And you know, Callous and Numa together, like their art, both, and Brokey included, fucking amazing artists. Like they'll do a sketch and throw it away and be like, this is trash, and I'm like, you just made the best shit fucking ever. It would take me 10 years to even get a 10th close to that. Ruslan, fucking Ruslan likes alternative shit like I do. We be listening, Ruslan and I have like a same idea of like that synth punk sort of vision. Like, I fucked with Gritted Teeth a lot, so much, just because it was so different. And Ruslan's not the type of motherfucker to let that difference scare them. They're very honest with their music, and you know, talking one-on-one, you know, outside the music shit privately, like they have a deep care for their art that I admire, and that you know, I wish I saw a lot of other people do. But you know, that's just one thing about this group, is everyone cares about their art so much. And Docky Docky and I love Tyler the Creator. I think you Docky had mentioned it. I'd put Docky onto Tyler the Creator when he came over for Christmas, and we made an album that we will release someday. I still have the files. I have the files on this computer somewhere, and literally I have like, it's like 7 songs, 7, almost 8, and half of them are produced by me, half of them are some beats we found, and funny enough, Circles on the Karmamob page, the SoundCloud page, was made during that trip. The melodic song with me and Docky. And you know, Docky kind of just has the same vibe as me, as like we don't like that chain of being held down, because Docky and I made scream rap at first. Now Docky's doing this like sort of like parties, sort of like fucking almost house. I don't even know what you call it, like DMB. That's the thing, is I can't even know what you would call half the genres we make, because we just do so much weird shit that works. It's just ear candy. It's just good music, and I love that. It's the fun thing about music, of just, it doesn't matter if it sounds good. It sounds like we're having fun. And the last thing I could say, Brokey, I have never been confident in the backing of my voice. You know, I have a naturally higher pitch voice for a male, biological male. I have a higher pitch voice, and I get embarrassed by it a lot, because whenever I try to make rap music, I have to deepen my voice. And Brokey was just like, no, you got the grit. You just need to be confident with how you're saying it. And Brokey's inspired me with lyricism, with confidence in my voice, singing too. Fuck, bro, they can sing like a motherfucker. Oh my god, she is insane with a guitar as well. And just like all those, like literally, I can take 4 or 5 things from all 13 members in the group, and they directly inspire me in some way. This group of people they truly are my family, and I love them with all my heart to death, because I would not be able to express the love I have for my favorite art form on earth if it wasn't for meeting any of these people.
It seems like such a accepting group. It's cool.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
How'd you end up doing the song Bad Love with Nine?
Oh, okay. So, Bad Love. Oh my god. So this was so random. Like, so much random shit be happening. Like it's kind of like how I met Jen. Like, I was this close to none of this happening. I wouldn't have lived out here. I would have still lived in Texas. I probably would have gone to college to become I probably would have tried doing the Blue Devils, like marching drum corps, because I really fucked with Blue Devils. But then I was like, that's too much money, and I'm not that good at my instrument. But with Bad Love, I woke up at 3 a.m. one night, and damn, this was back when I was just smoking all the time, and it was so bad. And I was back in Texas, and I woke up high. That's how bad it was. I would smoke, I would sleep for 4 hours, and wake up pink eyes, still high, and I'm like, fuck. So I woke up, and I was on a FaceTime. It was a Bando Boy. They're an artist, and they live in Tokyo. They just came back to visit home, but they live in Tokyo. And funny enough, they're like my sensei as well, because they'll teach me language learning, because they know Japanese pretty well. And I've always wanted to learn Japanese, or like an Asian language of some sort. And then I want to go to more like European languages, and like go to like try German and like French and shit like that. But I've wanted to get an Asian country language down first. Whenever I saw they were live streaming on Instagram, and they were with somebody, and they were showing their music, and this dude was good. I was like, fuck, bro, this dude 9 is insane. Let me check their page. They only had 500 monthly, and I was like, this is fucking criminal. Damn, there's gonna be an F-bomb like counter by the end of this. Holy shit. They are criminally underrated, and I was like, I have never made a song with anyone that speaks a different language. I want to push myself out of my comfort zone. So it's literally so funny, because I don't know Korean at all, but they would translate, they would help translate stuff for me, because Bando Boy knows, like, I think like a pinch of Korean. I could be wrong. They could know more Korean, but they would communicate with them. They would like translate for me, and then I started DMing 9, and it was funny because we'd use broken English to talk. And then halfway through, I was like, fuck this. I'm going to just start translating in Korean. And because I did Spanish in school, and I learned that if you could throw something through a translator and then take that and throw that through a translator, it will give you a different meaning, a more polite version. Because if you just throw anything through Google Translate, it can sound hella rude and hella upfront, like, we make song together. And it doesn't sound like nice as hell, because, in English, our subject-verb context is very different. It's very arranged in a different way. I DM'd them on Instagram, and I was like, we need to make some music. And, with the broken English, they'd be like, let's go, bro. Let's make some shit. Let's make shit. And I'm like, yes, let's go. And they sent me the song back, and I was just in awe. I was like, holy shit, I did it. This is such a beautiful song together, and it's just very different. That's what I love about it. It's not my usual stuff, I don't even know what you would consider my usual stuff, but no, yeah, Bad Love came together just because I wanted to try something I've always just loved. I want to do that a lot more, is work with a lot of people that speak different languages. If I could sing in a different language, holy shit. I want to learn Celtic Irish, because that's what my blood is related to, is in Ireland. And I want to learn Irish, like the language fully, so I could sing a song in it. It's just so cool, because when people don't understand, this is the theory I've always had. When people don't understand the lyrics, you just hear emotion. That's why people like them more. That's why people like anime openings. No one fucking knows Japanese like that. But they hear it and they're like, it sounds so beautiful. Because if it was English, you would be thinking about what they're saying. You wouldn't be thinking about, oh, they're saying it so emotionally, I could feel it. You don't think about what they're saying. You just hear them singing, and you're like, oh my god, it's art. Because people try to tie meaning with art instead of just taking it in as it is,
Yeah. I was gonna ask what your favorite types of or genres of song to make, but I don't know. Do you have one, or is that part of like not being chained down?
It fluctuates. I will say it usually reflects whatever I'm taking in. So recently, like and I'm gonna get bullied for it. I get into shit really late. Like I got into Tool last year. I got into Slipknot for the first time like 2 months ago. Listen front to back all the albums. Loved them. First three albums are amazing. But in terms of like favorite genres, ooh, I would definitely say grunge. Grunge is the softest spot in my heart. Indie is the second softest spot in my heart. I like punk. I like punk. Thrash metal. I'm not gonna say alternative metal because Tool is the only alternative metal band because they are just that big dick about it that there's no other alternative band. Tool is alternative metal. They own that title. And R&B. Oh, jazz. I forgot to say jazz. I fucking studied jazz in high school. Yeah, jazz. But yeah, that's what I would say my main like 5 to 6 are, but it fluctuates all the time.
This one I'm always curious about. What's your favorite song of yours?
Oh man. Oh. You see, I want to say purple because I'm really happy with that one. But that'd be a mid answer. Let me think of a good one. Of one that's already been out cuz I usually don't like my stuff after it has a shelf life. My music has a shelf life. After like a year, I'm like, "Oh, it's spoiled. It's bad. I can do it so much better." But in terms of like music I appreciate that I made that I really like now, I will say though with the grunge album, my favorite song out of that entire project, it's either gonna be "How Are You," which is underrated, I believe, or no. Your favorite highway. Your favorite highway. That one just the mix was easy. I came up with it on the trip that I did that first kind of that half performance at on stage. I literally got to the B&B before the other members, before Brokey flew in, before Numa and Jen came down. I was there by myself playing with my acoustic guitar, and I wrote it on that trip because I was like, I'm gonna write a song that's just going on a trip with your friends and never going back. And that song is one of my favorite songs. But my heart wants to say for my older shit, I know, that's a very old song. But I know the hyperpop song is. I need to make more hyperpop.
I'm trying to find it.
It's very, very, very old. It's SoundCloud old.
It's SoundCloud old? Oh, I see. I know
This
this
was
one.
like one of the first shits I had ever made, and I just got a lot of good reception off of it, and my friends really liked it because I didn't do a lot of singing back then at all. So that was like my first time using autotune as well, and I was ass at it. But no, yeah, that just gave me a huge confidence in my singing. I liked that one. That one will always have a soft spot in my heart.
What, besides Karmamob, obviously, what artists have influenced you the most?
Okay, I have my music Mount Rushmore, and then I have a couple. But my music Mount Rushmore is Kurt Cobain, Thundercat. Yeah, so Kurt Cobain, Thundercat, Tyler the Creator, Maynard from Tool, the singer from Tool, Mac DeMarco a lot recently. I've only been listening to him heavy like literally the past like 4 months, but I already know he's a lifelong. I've been watching his live streams of him making music with like Mac Miller and Thundercat in the studio, and that it's just so insane. I like a lot of artists that aren't afraid to try shit. But yeah, I would say Kurt Cobain, Mac DeMarco, Thundercat, Maynard, and Tyler the Creator. I would say those five are like my main biggest inspos.
Who would be your dream music collaboration, if any?
Ooh, I want to say Thundercat so quickly, but I know I have a better answer. Thundercat would be fun, just from a musician standpoint. I saw Thundercat live, and I was in awe. That was one of the times I had ever been to a show sober, and I was like, damn, this jazz, I want to feel it. I wish I was high or drunk for this, but being sober at it, I was glad I was able to take in the full experience. And damn, but not Thundercat. If I had to choose one, shit, I'd want to produce with Tyler. But if it's strictly like feature and working with, fuck, I don't want to work with Kurt Cobain. I don't want to work with Kurt Cobain. Rest in peace, bro. I don't want to work with Kurt Cobain. Like, I don't know. Before obviously like nasty heroin shit and all that. Like he just watching his documentaries about his life, his young life. I relate to I find myself relating a lot to like his sense of being aware of how kind of stagnant and fucked up the world is, where it's kind of like a lot's happening, but I'm just one person and I don't feel like I have a lot that I can change. And he was able to be the change, you know? And not even be a change, but just be a voice in general, because that's what I really admire, is just wanting to be a voice that can be heard. You know, I want to defend my friends. I want to defend, you know, LGBTQ rights and shit. There's just a lot of problems in the world that I want to talk about from my lens and from what I've seen that people may not listen to, people may not give a fuck about, but the people who do, I feel would appreciate. And no, yeah, Kurt. I would make a song with Kurt just because of how weirdly experimental some of his shit. If you hear like the Incesticide, like off of the Nirvana's Incesticide album, like Aneurysm is so fucking weird, but it tickles the funny parts of my brain. I'm like, oh, how did they make this? I would just want a jam session with Kurt.
Oh, okay. This one's just for me, but there's a bunch of songs that you only have on SoundCloud. Is there a
Okay.
reason you don't put them on other platforms?
I'm gonna give you a boring answer, and then I'm gonna give you a good answer. The boring answer, I forgot the beat's producer, and it was a free for profit, and I couldn't afford it, or some shit. Sometimes I like putting exclusives on SoundCloud. I like, because I know that there's definitely the Spotify listeners that don't know my SoundCloud, that don't go on there. But the people who listen on SoundCloud, I started on SoundCloud a year or two before I started uploading on Spotify and everything. And I just feel like, you know, they were there since day one. They're my children. I need to feed them. I need to give them some good shit. So every now and then I'm like, exclusive for y'all. Here, eat up. But I can't even think of any songs specifically. Definitely, like, a lot of the first songs, like my first 5 posts were like GarageBand files I just wanted to throw up on there. But no, yeah, pretty much.
I just wrote that question because while I was writing that question, I was listening to All the Way and Preach.
Oh, all the way. I want to perform that one, but I
That
don't
one's so
own that
good.
beat. That was inspired. That was inspired by Best Interest by Tyler.
That one would probably be like on my Spotify Wrapped if it was on there.
Oh
That
shit.
one's I listen to a lot.
I love that one. That one's fun to make.
What direction do you feel your music career is going now?
A scarily sporadic one, but I'm confident, and that's gonna get me through all this shit. I feel now, this year was a tough year for me. 2024 was not my year, and I know a lot of people can say the same. I feel like that's just the going on trend. It's like 2020, yeah, not my year. 2021, not my year. 2023, all the way to 3, 4, not my year. 2025, I'm not gonna say it's my fucking year, because it ain't. I don't know. I haven't been in it yet. But, like, this year knocked me down so much, and I'm, like, literally throughout November, these last 4 months were, like, kind of the hardest months of my life, but I've pulled myself out of all the struggle, and now I have such a clear mind. I'm sober. I quit smoking. I quit cigs. I quit drinking soda fully. I quit because I drank like 4 Cokes a day, dude. It was bad. I was fucking up my body. I was drinking 4 Cokes a day, smoking Newports, and then smoking weed every day. And I've quit all of it, and now I'm just fully empty now. And now that I have such a clear mind, the next shit coming soon. Even cause back then I would make shit and I'd be like, this is good, and then I would lose my confidence in myself. I can comfortably say that this next shit coming is my best work yet, and I am confident, putting confidence behind that, knowing that from this next project that I got working on, there will be something for everyone. There's gonna be one song at least everyone likes, if that gives a hint of what I'm planning.
Okay. What are your goals for the future, if any?
My goals. Number 1, this is kind of a if or not, is to do music, to get good at my craft, to make what I want to make. I love music. And if I don't pop off for like music and stuff doesn't work out, the stories I will have will be fucking insane. I just want to be making music with my friends as long as I can. But my main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody. No, I'm not saying that shit. Fucking, oh my god, I just fucking threw myself off with that joke. That's so stupid. But no, I want, number 1, I want to be a voice for people. And a lot of people won't say this, I don't wanna get rich I don't want like money, money, money. I want to be financially comfortable though. I want to be able to. I want to be able to provide for my family in the future a space where like even my kids can do what like I was talking about this to like a friend the other day. I was like, bro, I'm never letting my kids pay for Spotify. I'm buying it for them. Like they shouldn't. It shouldn't have to be a paywall to listen to music freely. You know, because music helps me escape and get away from the harsh stuff of the fucking world. It's my first time being alive too, you know? It's like it's difficult. I want to be a voice for people. I want to share my love for music with people, and I just want to meet as many people as I can. And I want to put smiles on everyone's faces even if the world is fucking falling apart. I genuinely believe there's still something you can smile about in the end.
What would be your like advice to new producers or people that want to learn?
Okay, this is something I've been doing. So, with producing, I would say find something you love. Find something like a genre, find an instrument, find beats that you like. You got to start. There's so many people that are like, "Yeah, I want to get into music." And it's like, "Okay, cool." And then it's like a month later, "Yeah, I'm still thinking about getting into music." It's like, "Cool." It's a year later, "Yeah, are you going to get into it?" You see, it's one day or day one. That's the way I look at it, you know? It's like you're not gonna get started anywhere if you don't start, you know? And advice for like mixing and like clarity too that I can say for cuz I'm not the best at mixing. I'm still working on it, but in terms of getting a clean sound and stuff is don't search up on YouTube how to mix, how to make my music sound good, how to make my music sound loud. Learn the plugins, learn the individual stuff cuz as soon as you start learning compressors as you can't learn how to fix your problems because every song is so unique and they have their own things about it. You need to just learn the tools so that when you see the problems, you're like, oh, I know I need to throw a limiter on this. Oh, this needs to be compressed. Oh, I need to turn the volume down. So know your toolkit. Don't know how to make a good thing. If you don't know your toolkit, you're not gonna know how to work it. And I will say one more thing. The last thing I will say that this helped me out. Find some friends that make music. Find a group of people. If you don't have people to show stuff to, it's hard doing it alone. And I would not be motivated as I am with music if I couldn't call up my friend Brokey or hit up Jen or walk out my room and show Numa or call Docky and show them a song and they're like, this is cool. Find like-minded individuals that aren't hard on you, but also aren't yes men. You don't want people to be like, yes, 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 even though it's garbage. Yes, like some of the closest people have told me like this is ass, and I'm like, thank you for telling me it's ass. And then I rework it, come back, and they're like, there you go. Now it's something I like. Find a group of people. Those would be the biggest 3 tips I would say is find something to start. When it comes to mixing, know your toolkit, and in terms of motivation and fluctuation of that, find a group of people because that will keep your motivation high is when you have people to show. That isn't just random comment on Instagram, fire. That's not feedback.
Do you have any advice for new artists just in general?
We are in the most creative time, I think, in our entire lives. In terms of, fuck, how long ago has it been since the iPhone was invented? We're like not even like a whole 20 years. Like it was, yeah, past 2000. The year 2000 is when the iPhone came out. Like we are such in a weird time of art and music and performance. And that's why I like calling myself an artist cuz shit, bro, I'm trying to learn dancing now. I've been picking up learning how to dance and shit. I want to learn how to paint. I love all forms of art. Language. I like learning languages. That's an art form, language learning. Like I would just say there is so many avenues and there's so many people that say I'm not talented. Shit, I'm not talented, bro. I'm not talented at all. I worked for it. And I knew kids who were prodigies in high school and kids that would just play amazing shit. And, they could probably say the same thing. I'm not going to say they're prodigies. I'm not going to say they're talented. Even if you're not talented, you can work for it. You can work as hard and get as good as the gifted child in your friend group. You can work up. It's just the amount of the work ethic you have, how true you are to yourself, and just staying in a good relationship with your art. Because as soon as you start separating your art from yourself, it's not relatable. And the only reason I like the artists I like Kurt Cobain, Tyler, fucking Thundercat, they've all been relatable to me in some way. I don't feel alone on earth because I relate to these artists. And it's so weird because it's such a one-sided relationship of I love this artist. He's so cool. They're so amazing. But they've never spoke to me a day in my fucking life, but they inspire me to get up every morning, to pick up my guitar, to hit a drum, to sing a vocal. And I just think that's the big picture that people aren't really seeing or looking or overlooking, at least, you know?
Yeah.
Is that this is the most creative time in our life that you could be born in or you could be living in. Take advantage of it. Because we don't have flying fucking cars yet. Because I'm afraid that we're going to get to a time in like 20 years where it's like, now we're hearing the same music and over again. Because I get afraid of that a lot. I get afraid that we're going to get to a point in my lifetime where I'm like, every song's been made. But that's just impossible.
I've thought about that too before. Like, has every song been made before? Or will it?
Yeah, literally. It's scary. It's scary to think about as an artist because you're like, oh, I can't think of anything new anymore. Oh man, I gotta pack my mic. I gotta hang up the mixing rack. I gotta go to college. I gotta be an accountant. No, I gotta work in the mines. I gotta get a real job. No. But music and art in itself is the realest job you can have because you're not forcing yourself to do it. Some people do, and that can be unhealthy. But, when you're, the money obviously comes second. If you just get a rhythm down of making shit and a group of people besides you that don't know you love your shit and they connect with you in some way, you're just spreading culture. You're just being culture in the US, bro. I could blow up and be in a US text like history book in like 2090 or like 2120, and it's like this artist a year ago, Karmamob, this group of people, and it's like we now can define culture for the rest of our lives. Cause shit, Kurt Cobain was the grunge wave movement. Fucking, bro, like there's just so much, like fucking Lady Gaga blew up from fucking, the first, like the main artist to have a connection with fans on the internet. Just, there's so many first times that haven't been discovered yet. And anybody can figure that out. And it just really depends on, just how true you are to your art. Just make art. Just fucking make art at the end of the day. If you're not making art, you just gotta do what you love when it comes to art of any form. Just make. Just create. Creating is the best thing I have ever found as an outlet.
All right. Well, that was it. Thanks for coming on.
Hell
dude.
yeah. No, of course, definitely. Thank you for having me on.
I respect you guys all at Karmamob so much. You guys are all like hella talented.
Oh, hell yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. And your questions were fucking in depth as hell. I congratulate you on that. It was a very nice interview. Thank you.
Thanks.